I appreciate that you allowed yourself to be vulnerable in talking about some of the mental health struggles that come with not only your particular position as a young actress in Hollywood, a young Latina actress in Hollywood, everything that comes just with life. Um, was that something you debated doing, kind of sharing that part of your journey?
100%, especially because I remember, especially with my depression, it got really bad when I was still on the Disney show. And that's crazy because there was so much for me to be thankful for. I have such a blessed life and I'm so fortunate. And I can't thank everybody enough who's ever been a part in, helping me get here. But that's the thing when you feel like you don't have a reason to complain and you shouldn't be upset and you shouldn't be, frustrated with the world. It's like you don't really have a place to say that. And because I was a Disney kid, so I felt like I had an image that I had to uphold, and I had to be this positive, strong, powerful role model for young girls who were watching me on TV. I put that pressure on myself, and I didn't allow myself to be honest with myself or others because I felt like it would be wrong of me, and I would ruin these girls' expectations of what life should be or what life can be, because it really can be such a beautiful thing. But really was just the pressure of trying to make myself absolutely perfect because I didn't want anybody to know that I was struggling at all.
And I would say, again, and I apologize if this is projection, but there's something about growing up in a Latino family where it's difficult to process mental health issues because nobody wants to talk about it.
Yeah.
Nobody ever wants to admit that there's depression, that there's just moments of despair and sadness that we just kind of have to sit in and hopefully find help in recovering from. But I think that's part of it. When you grow up in an environment where it's not always easy being so forthcoming with this information, but it takes a toll on you. And then compounded for your situation with the fact that you work in this huge industry.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you on that first portion, because it's like I never opened up to my family about my feelings or how, we didn't do that. It was like we see each other at school, maybe like slap each other around a bit, and then we go to bed and we wake up and, we're constantly arguing. We're never, we never really had that freedom. And it was just kind of like a weird thing to talk about. And even like our parents were so busy, so we didn't really want to bother them. It was just like we're just not emotionally close like that, I would say. But I remember even like the first time I had like a panic attack in front of my little sister, she like froze up because she was like, should I leave or do I help you or do I just, she didn't say anything. She just kind of got up. She was like, should I go get mom? And I was like, no. And she was like, all right, I'm just going to leave the room, because it was like the first time we had to deal with something like that. But those awkward encounters was like the worst part. And then you never want to open up or like freak out around anybody else again because that was weird. And now she's going to go tell your siblings. And now everybody knows that like you're weird or you're being dramatic or like whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was hard.
I think something that we don't learn, and this is not even just within a Latino context, this is just life. Like, we never learn if we are somebody who is struggling with mental health issues, we never learn through society how to process that. But on the flip side, if you are somebody who loves somebody with mental health issues, you never are taught how to help them. And it's all a trial and error thing that we have to go through, and it's a struggle, and it's helpful to be able to talk openly about it because then everybody gets to learn from that. I want to bring up something because the cool part about the book is obviously it interweaves a lot of your own story, but there's a lot of affirmations, there's a lot of kind of mantras interspliced in the book that people can kind of use. And there's one that immediately made me think of one that you hear in a Mexican household, which is dime con quién andas y te diré quién eres, which is tell me who you hang out with and I'll tell you who you are. And in the book, you write, trust your friends when they tell you what they see in you and reflect their own goodness back to them. And I think that's so important because there's something about kind of relying on the people outside of us because we all have our own perceptions of self. We all have our perceptions of like what life is. But it's helpful to look outward and then ask people what they think, what they see, what they can tell from us, because then that's part of the learning process.
Yeah, definitely. I know for me, because I spend so much time in my head, I really try to, step back and uh, view everything with an objective perspective. And I think when you speak to friends and speak to them, or, you know, I think oftentimes too, I'm very stubborn. It's very easy for it's very easy for me to like avoid issues in my life and just kind of push them under the rug. So when I have a friend who like can call me out on, you know, my stuff and, you know, put me back on track, and I don't know, I really just try to, the people that I love, the people that I trust, the people that I know are there. Anytime, I love it when people are just very straightforward and honest with me. So when somebody is honest with me or telling me if, you know, I'm doing something that isn't the healthiest for me or isn't the best, you know, way to maybe go around a situation, I respect that, I appreciate that, and I want to be able to give them that back. You know, it's all about, I think, just looking at everything objectively, I guess.
Mhm.